Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahushai Bashem Rakakadash Barakatham. I wanted to share this dream that I had the n- the night before last. The night before last. Um, but in the early hours of the morning, I would say. Um, okay, real quick, as quick as I can get it. It was a beautiful dream. Um, it was a beautiful dream, but I have questions. I have like a little confusion behind it. When I say confusion, not like bad confusion. I don't know. It's just like I'm just wondering what it means. But long story short, um, in the beginning of the dream, which I can't remember the entire dream, like what was happening before this part that I'm wanting to share. But I do remember it being like very dystopic. So I'm assuming it could have been Jacob's trouble. And but everybody was functioning like everyone was used to the dystopian world that we were living in. Like it was a lot of people that were, everybody was dirty, but it was like children that were still kind of like playing, trash everywhere, kind of like, I don't know if anyone's seen that movie. I keep wanting to say Elysium, but it kind of felt like that movie Elysium. If anyone who's watched that movie, they know how like everybody was like, there was no middle class. It was just poor, the rich and the poor. And the rich lived in Elysium, which is, above. They tried to make their own heaven basically and left everybody down, so called down here on earth, just like completely poor. So, say all that to say this: if you watch that movie, you would know that people were still functioning, still working, or whatever, but working for scraps at a power plant or something of the sort that um, had a lot, they were working with radiation or something like that. Anyway, long story short, I don't remember every detail of that though. I just remember certain scenes that flash back to me when I think about it, and that's what it reminded me of. So that's why I said I thought and figured that it was Jacob's trouble. Okay, however, fast forward during that time, um, it was, I can't say it was scary for me because for some reason it was like I was around the men of the Lord. There were women and stuff there too, but I was around, some of the men of the Lord were in that same vicinity where I was in the dream. So, like I said, I can't remember everything that happened. I just remember that portion of it, right? But this is what the dream really is about. What got me wanting to share this. Okay, so all of a sudden, I'm in this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful green place, right? There's lots of beautiful grass. I see butterflies and different insects I've never seen, but they all were flying, right? And I'm sitting on the grass in the grass, but in the dream, I thought it was one person. But when I woke up and had the dream, I was thinking about it. I was like, wow. All day I was thinking it was someone specific. But I ended up talking to my mom later on and telling her my dream. So that's during the day. So that particular late night, well, early morning, you know, wee hours in the morning or whatever, I had the dream. And as I'm sitting in this green grass, I'm sitting next to, up against an angel. So I thought it was an angel. Okay. But to describe the angel, okay, I couldn't see his face. I did see his hair. I did see his beard, but he was so big though. That's the thing. He was so huge. I felt almost like I was a little child sitting at his feet. He had all white on, and he did have a garment on. It came all the way down to his feet. And I couldn't see his toes because it covered up his toes, right? And he was sitting in his chair. And as I was telling my mom this dream, I was just thinking to myself, like, dang, it was this angel, and I couldn't remember his face. And I was telling my best friend about the dream today. So my best friend was the second person, and I told about the dream. So as I'm sitting there, I don't say a word the whole entire dream. It's just like I'm being taught something, right? So the whole time he's explaining to me angels. Okay, so he's talking to me about angels. And the reason I'm doing this right now is because I was like, oh no, I wasn't going to say anything. My mom is my witness. I told her the dream yesterday, and I said, I don't think I'm going to share it with the body. but I had 2 signs today, 3 signs today. And I'm like, nah, okay, that means I need to share it. So as I was sitting down, his leg was so tall, like it was towering over me. I literally felt like, when I was telling the story back, the best way I could describe it to my mom when I was telling her was, I felt like a little child, like very vulnerable. I knew that I was a grown woman in there, but I don't know why I felt so little, so small. Maybe because he was so big, right? But so anyway, I saw his hands. He had both of his hands sitting on his knees as he was sitting there talking, right? He had them sitting on his knees, and he had his elbows resting. He had his elbows resting on the armrest or whatnot. So he's explaining to me, he's telling me about all the angels, right? I don't know if it was all the angels. I know he was telling me about a lot of angels, right? And he was telling me their names. He was telling me their function, like what they did. Some of them had wings, some of them didn't. Some had small wings, some had large wings, right? And he was telling me this certain angel's name is such and such and such and such and such, right? And he was like, this is what he does when I need this to happen. He's the one he does this, that, and other. When you're sad, such and such and such and such, this one comforts you, like stuff like that. Like, and I was just sitting there, just taking it all in, and I was just listening, and I was looking up. At the angel the whole time, but I couldn't see his face though. I just kind of like attributed to the fact that he was so big and I was so little to him, to where maybe I just couldn't see his face because of, how big he was. So anyway, he was explaining all this to me, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what is the significance of me knowing who these angels are? Like, why is he sharing with me? So like, yeah, angels, what they look like, their functions, everything that it is that they do, their names. And it was like, I can't remember any of the names, like nothing. They were just beautiful names. And it wasn't every single one. And so when I woke, okay, speed past that. That was very kind of like a very short dream, but so much happened in that dream, right? So you don't know, but I have a playlist on YouTube. I have lots of playlists on YouTube, but I keep them private. This particular playlist I have called Sleep Edification. So there's certain lessons that I listen to or whatnot throughout the day, and then to retain it in my spirit, I send them to my spiritual sleep edification playlist. So I will put them there, so when I go to sleep, and then I have it on rotation. So even after I watch listen to the last video, it's going to start all the way over and just kind of like loop and go through all of the videos. So I had that on intentionally, right? So, and I have it on intentionally because there's been times I haven't. I created the playlist because there was times where I watched certain lessons and had it set up that I get awakened in my sleep by like those ads that be popping up. So as I woke up out of the dream, and I remember looking at the clock after this happened. I woke up and none of the edification was playing in my ears anymore. It was an Edomite man preaching to a church. This was an ad. Preaching in a church, talking about angels. I woke up to him talking about the angels. And what happened? Oh yeah, so when he was doing it, I was like, what is going on? Like, he's talking about the angels. And when I looked at the time that was left on there, it literally said 12 minutes and 23 seconds left on that ad. So I stopped it immediately, and then I started to question. I was like, and I know this wasn't nothing but Shaitan, because I was like, was I tripping? Like, I know I had that dream. That's why that was the only thing I remembered of the dream. But I was like, this Edomite man was literally talking about angels. And I was like, man, I can't remember what exactly he told me about all of the angels or their names. And I'm like wondering, like, was he telling me like the left hand angels and the right hand angels, or was it just all right hand, or was it all left hand? Because I couldn't remember anything from it. And then to wake up hearing Esau talking about the angels, I was like, okay, it felt like, wow, Yahweh Shemi Awashai did not want me to doubt. And Shaitan tried to put that in my head by confirming. As soon as I woke up to that Edomite man, preacher, whatever, talking about the angels. So it really kind of like had me really tripped out. So when I looked over to my clock, it was 6 a.m. It was 6:23 a.m. So all day I was just thinking about that dream. This was yesterday morning. So all day when I woke up, so it was all day, and then my mom ended up calling me about a lesson that she was watching, and then her talking to me about that through the spirit, because I wasn't gonna share. I wasn't even on my heart to share it at all, but it was something that she had said, and it triggered me. And I was like, I gotta tell you about this dream. So I told her, and she was like, wow, so we kind of like in that moment of me telling her, I was like, I just want to know what the significance of him telling me all of this. Like, what is that? Like, what was the purpose of, this angel telling me about all the angels? It was like he was telling me everything, like explaining to me everything about it. Like, it was necessary and it was important for me to know. And as I was talking to my mom, I was like, could those have been my guardian angels over the years? Like, I don't know. I'm like, what does that mean exactly? I don't know. Right? So I was like, could we possibly have more than one guardian angel? Because why was it so important for me to know all their names, everything about these angels, right? So that's why I was in my head about it all day. Long story short, trying to make it short as I possibly can. I meet up with my best friend today, and I talked to her and tell her the dream. So many different things came up. She was like, wow, that's beautiful. We talking more and more and more. And then I told her, I said, I just don't know why I couldn't see his face, because I've had dreams with angels in it, but I've always seen their faces. And she was, we both agree, like, what if that was Yahushua telling me about the angels? And I was like, let me find out. I had another dream about Yahushua, because 3 years ago I had a dream about Yahushua. I never shared it, never felt led to. Because it's too near and dear to me, and I don't, I just don't want to share that. Unless the spirit permits me to do it, then I will. But this dream, I was like, let me find out that was Yahushua. Like, it's had me thinking all day. Because why couldn't I see his face? And why would another angel be telling me about all the angels? I don't know. But I just wanted to share that, because for me, it was very comforting. It was very beautiful. And then not only just the angels and telling me about all the angels, it was other like bugs that fly. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's bugs here right now that fly that we've never seen, that are hidden. But in this dream, it was like, they were beautiful. They weren't like, there was butterflies flying along with them real, real low. Like they were hovering, kind of like they're hovering right above the grass. They were really low like that. And these other bugs, they were so pretty. They were like colors of the rainbow. I don't know what they were, but they also flew, and they also had pretty wings. They were smaller than a butterfly, but they also, you can see their wings, very colorful. You can see them really, really, they were very distinct, but it wasn't like you had to squint your eyes to see it or anything like that. They were very, very vivid, and so were the colors. So I don't know, I wanted to share that. It's very comforting to me, and hopefully it's comforting to anybody else and everybody else that's of the hopeful elect. I just wanted to share that, and I pray that it was a blessing in some way, form, or fashion, because my husband encouraged me a lot with that. My best friend did, my mom did as well, but it was just some things that my husband had mentioned today when he told me his thoughts as he was listening to the dream, because I told him, I was like, I wanted to share this dream with you, but I didn't plan on sharing it, but when I shared it with him, he was like, no, I think you should share that. I think you should share it. He didn't allow you to have that dream for nothing. So I just wanted to be obedient, but also encouraged, because we're coming in these times right now and it's terrifying. So I just pray that it's a blessing to someone, and it comforted you. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah Shalom.